Hey folks, how's it going on a Friday? Hopefully the weather's good where you are, weather's good where we are. It's been unusually nice, like ridiculously nice. I'm sure that means we're going to pay for it over the summer. It's going to be like 105 every day for like 45 days, but that's all right. That's life. It's been amazing out. So hopefully the same holds true for you wherever you're at. So today, besides the normal ask me anything approach, it's really ask us anything. Like it's labeled as AMA, but in reality, we all know that the power of this stream is everybody in the chat. So if you do have any questions, this is the place to get them answered. Feel free to ask away. I may not be able to address it right away given anything that we're talking about at the moment, but I do my best to always circle back. Also, I noticed we have 17 days to get 40 more followers. I'm not sure how we're going to do that, but we're going to do our darndest. I've been messing around figuring out which category is most effective for us for gaining new viewers. I jumped over to just chatting probably a month ago, and we seem to get more random viewers popping in. We started out with science and technology, then we moved to talk shows and podcasts, and now we're trying just chatting. So I don't know what the answer is, but we are going to keep experimenting. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see what that shakes out to be. For today's initial topic, I wanted to talk through mental health coaching, given the situation that we're in. I assume most people on this stream are working from home, either on a regular basis or most of the time. And for us, company where I spend 3 days a week outside of working on tokens and Kazi, we are in our 9th week of working from home. And like anything, you have that initial adjustment where it's hard, but you respond, you're resilient, you figure it out, and you are on that honeymoon period where everything, you're just pushing through and you're making it happen because you just have to. Then comes that, holy crap, we've been doing this for 6 weeks. I'm getting tired of it. I'm tired of Zoom meetings, whatever it might be. Whatever the thing is that drives you crazy, it's starting to drive you crazy. Then it starts to settle in that we're going to be doing this for some significant amount of time longer. And it's going to be important for all of us as coaches, team members, just humans, to be able to help yourself, number one, your family, and any peers you may have that are struggling. Because this is hard. This is going to be hard. And the biggest issue is that it's not anything anybody's ever done before. Yes, there are lots of companies that work from home exclusively, but I am unaware of any companies that have been forced to rip the Band-Aid off. Like basically, at least as far as I know, the entire US has been forced to rip the Band-Aid off. It seems as if other countries are starting to open up a bit more, so we'll see what happens there. So that's one of the things that it's a difficult thing to coach through a mental challenge that anybody might be having. So I just wanted to get it out there, hear from you guys what you've dealt with, like Scrum Sarge does, as he always does. He provides great content, and share any tips or tricks that you may have so that we can help ourselves, help each other through a super challenging time. So if we walk away from this stream today with one person having one concept, one idea of how they can go help someone that they care about, that would be fantastic. That's all that we're after. Okay, I got to catch up and read a little bit here to make sure I'm being a good host. Yeah, one of the things, so just from my perspective, the struggles I've had, and I've had really good friends reach out and give me support in this area, is I've had a very difficult time creating a barrier between work and home, uh, and really in just turning things off. And I've really understood the value. As much as I dislike the commute, I've really understood the value that the commute and the music or the talk show that I listened to on that drive, or historically I would ride a bus and I would read a book or something like that, the value, the switch that provided me to turn work off and turn home back on, that created a ton of value for me that I underestimated for apparently most of my life, that I'm now starting to understand and appreciate more. So that's one thing that I've been informed by a yeah, I know our podcast numbers have dropped off dramatically as people aren't driving. That's apparently an issue with a long form podcast like we have. So I had a friend that I've known that actually is a member of our Agile Podcast network, that he helped me through some things. And what he does, he's been working from home for a long time, and he ran into the same challenge that I had of not being able to disconnect from work. So he commutes every day. Even though he works from home, he still commutes. So he wakes up, he goes outside, he takes a walk, and that walk is the commute. He does the same thing when the day is over. And he's found that that really provides him with that same thing that the commute, the drive, the bus, whatever it may be, has given us before, of that time to decompress, disconnect, whatever it is. I haven't been able to put my finger on what the thing is for me that makes such a difference. So that's been the big challenge for me. And as I talk to peers, as I talk to folks that are on my team, I think the most important thing we can do is listen and understand. That plays a huge role. Just listening, just understanding, being supportive. That just does a tremendous amount, more than you think. Allowing people to get fears, concerns, whatever it may be, off their chest. We are not mental health experts, so don't try and diagnose or do anything like that. And most companies have programs where people can reach out. So there are benefits with almost every company I've ever worked for that are seldom used, that people can take advantage of, where there are professionals that can help with this. So now's the time to reach out to those professionals and get help if you're struggling, if it's difficult out there. And it is, right? It totally is. Thank you for the pronunciation guide. Yeah, Scrum Sarge, I have not implemented that yet. I've been talking about it for about 6 weeks now, and I have not done it. So I'm disappointed in myself, to say the least. And Sinon, look at that. I'm going to say your name so much more now that I finally said, hey, how do you pronounce your name? So much better. Like, for instance, today is normally tokens in the morning, Kazi stream, then tokens till probably like 6 or 7, eat some dinner, do some more tokens. Weekends are like that. It's similar. It's always churning in my brain. There are lots of people that are doing similar things. So I feel this competitive urge of, oh no, I'm going to get beat. I'm going to get lapped. I'm going to lose out in the market. So it's at the forefront of my mind even more. But I am going to, I'm telling myself, like, I've got to turn it off. So for the next like 24 hours, there's like one thing I want to do for tokens. Then I'm going to not do work, because with my Tuesday through Thursday gig and tokens and Kazi, I'm basically 7 days a week, and that's been running me ragged for the 9 weeks or so that I've been doing it. So I got to take a break, and I'm going to fight myself to make it happen. Holy crap, look at VA Agile with that. I'm going to attempt to pronounce that. So everybody just prepare yourself. A new level of rehumanization. See? Screwed it up already. Rehumanization. Humanization. Are there too many letters in that word? That can't be how you spell it. Oh, man. Yeah, one of the things that I'm starting to talk to peers about is just what's their work from home setup, and our company is ready, willing, and able to help people level up their setup. I was amazingly lucky to have purchased a really nice gaming chair. Let's see, it would have been last summer. And those chairs right now are back ordered. We talked about it on stream a while back. That has made a huge difference for me because now I'm in that chair a lot. I was lucky enough to get a monitor pretty early into the pandemic, so those things helped me. I got a new keyboard, new mouse, those kind of things just made a difference. That is my other disconnect out there, is video games. So I've got some friends I've been playing with for a long time, and that's a time where I've been able to just hang out, and that's been very beneficial for me to hang out with folks that make me laugh, folks that I make laugh from just silliness, and that's made a huge difference for me. It often means I stay up too late, but that's okay. There's benefit and value. So one of the things, going back to coaching, listen, don't judge, be supportive, and really, really encourage folks to reach out to the professionals that are there, because I am sure that your company, as a part of the insurance package that they offer, has mental health support. So these are not things that we should, as peers, try and solve. We are not trained. We don't know that. And I worry about trying to do that. So one of the things that I've transitioned into doing is I really try and limit the advice that I give to people. Why do I limit the advice that I give to people? My situation is likely very different from the situation that they're in. So what I try and do is I try and share my experiences, and I couch it as such. I couch it as, this is my experience. This is what I did. It might not work for you. It maybe worked for me, or it didn't work for me at all. But here's what I did. Here's what I tried. Here's the difference it made or the difference it didn't make. And I try not to say, you should do this. Because every situation is different, and it's really difficult to fully understand all of the variables that are at play for anyone in any situation, be it a mental health challenge with everything that's going on, just work in general, or life, or things like that. So what I try and do, and this was something I borrowed from a friend that I've known for a long time, 20 plus years now, that he made the same switch and he felt better, because there's times where you would give advice and you worry, like, is that really appropriate for that person to apply to their daily life or not? Hey, look who it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. How is she on your... Okay. Oh, I know, but you got to understand the... Sorry. We got a home situation going on here. there's a debate in our house about shoes outside. So I am a firm believer in wearing shoes outside and and not wearing them in the house. My argument is that the shoes are the things that get the dirt on them. Then you take the shoes off at the door and you don't bring that dirt inside. Well, I am apparently in the minority in that, especially in our house. And my daughter now has taken the rebellious approach of not wearing shoes outside, and she likes to draw with chalk out on the driveway and in the street with neighborhood kids. And you can imagine the amount of chalk that gets on her feet as she walked around. Well, I came home, or no, actually, I've been home. I came inside for a minute after she came inside, and you could see these footprints go into the kitchen and then back out from the kitchen. And Daddy exploded. Like, this is exactly what we talk about. This is why we wear shoes outside and not inside. So I told her she had to clean the floors. But mommy is not on my side. So I have that battle. VA Agile, I agree completely with your situation. I have a very similar mindset to you. My first couple days were terrible. Oh, Lori Blue, don't hit me with that gut shot. That's not nice to do. Oh man. Yeah, she turned 16 in 2 weeks. So, Lori, that cuts deep. That was not nice. So VA Agile, I am not a work from home person. As an Agile leader, I really value face to face. I really value the capability to pair together on a problem at a whiteboard, talk things through. Lunch at work, I've got to leave the building. I am not as effective in the second half of the day if I eat lunch in the office. Even if I were to eat lunch in a cafeteria type setting with peers, it's still, again, same thing like working from home. That drive, that disconnect, that whatever it is for me makes a mental health improvement for me for the second half of the day. So even if I were to eat at the office, if food is there, I still get out of the office for even 15 minutes, and that makes a huge difference. So that's why I'm having such a hard time with this situation, because just getting out of the office is a real challenge. And the workaholic thing is a real challenge too. That's just like, that's why this afternoon for me, I'm just going to turn it off. I'm going to play some League of Legends, which I'm terrible at, but I'm fun. It's a new challenge. All of those things. You can't pull that one back, Lori. That one was too good. Like, you got to own that. Here, we'll even. Oh man, that's great that it bothers you so much that you notice it on Netflix shows. Yeah, but shoes on the furniture. Gosh, maybe we should launch a campaign. I wonder if there's something we can do to stop that. Yeah, it's weird. So let's talk about my issue with shoes in the house. I grew up with shoes in the house. Both my parents, that's how they roll. So I don't know what switch flipped with me. you're not a barbarian. You're a monster, but not a barbarian. uh, but yeah, both of my parents. That's how they like my dad. You know, shoes on, and like even in like snowy Ohio, stuff like that. Just yeah, the scrums are you're not alone. Much of my family, I think again, in my family in this house of the five of us, I'm the only one on this shoe train. Everybody else is always getting yelled at by dear old dad to put shoes on. And apparently, when dad's not home in the summer and he's at a physical work location, apparently all the rules are tossed to the side because dad's not here. Then, when dad comes home, there's a scurry as everybody goes to put their shoes on. And I see it. So they don't trick me. Okay, so mental health. What I found value in is listening, being supportive, and suggesting and encouraging the professional help that is readily available and free to those that need it. I appreciate the period, like you felt the need to add the period on as a part of that sentence. That it's truly non-negotiable. That is fantastic. Again, I'm a 1 out of 9 in the immediate family. If you include, actually, if we go to my wife's parents, so 1 out of 11, we go to the grandparents with my parents and step parents, and then my wife's parents plus the 4 other families. It's a 10-to-1 ratio of those that believe in the shoe/no shoe policy. So I am fighting a losing battle, but I will not surrender. I will not give up. I will be that mean, oppressive dad forever. And yeah, I really wish you had not pointed out Netflix, because now I'm going to well played, Technobabble. Well played. I really wish you hadn't mentioned Netflix, because now I'm going to see that. I'm not going to be able to unsee it. I'm going to get this like anger in my stomach as I watch these shows, and just not going to be able to help. Yeah, the dad jokes are back. Okay, so mental health, we talked through that. Anything anybody's struggling with, maybe a team member, a peer, something like that, that you'd like to help, but you're not sure how to help, or if there's any other topic you want to discuss here for the rest of the day, for the rest of the stream, not for the rest of the day. I mean, you're more than welcome to talk in Discord for the rest of the day. I'm sure I'll be unable to turn that off, but anything that we need to discuss in this realm or any other realm. If we go back to Discord, actually, Xenon, because I now know how to say it, because I asked like a normal human. Was asking about support teams. Okay. I understand what you're talking about now. Thank you, Scrum Sarge. So support teams. So Xenon was asking about support teams and how to handle. I, too, as you mentioned in Discord, do not like the concept of a support team or a bug team or something like that. We actually implemented what we called tier 3 in my day job, and they are the first responders. So here's my experience, not my advice. Booyah. There is always a steady stream of reactive work that has to be handled. You can do it in numerous ways. There are folks, and I have done this in the past, and actually it's happening right now at the place where I work, create a dedicated team where often there's a rotation of members in and out of that, because it is quite often not a situation that people want to find themselves in for the remainder of their career, as it may be. However, in every place that I've been, I found that there are some people that like and appreciate and enjoy that role and have volunteered to stay as a member of that team for the foreseeable future, potentially the rest of their time there. They're good at it. They like it. It's rewarding to them. They see that instant thing. They're helping customers in the moment with a problem. They can directly, it's not a feature that gets released 3 months from now and do users use it or not. No, there's a person that needs help. They go and they help them. They solve the problem. So there are many places that take that approach. And most of the places I've been, we've taken that approach about creating a dedicated team. At Dude Solutions, what I did was I created a first responder group, and every squad had to have one member of their team on a rotating basis serve as the first responder for the area that their team owned. This was rotating. This gave people a chance to get in and out of that role, whether they liked it or not. It didn't matter. Everybody served as a part of that role. It also was a fantastic training mechanism, because oftentimes bugs become this rabbit hole where you go down paths you've never been down before. So for a lot of the newer members of our team, it was an opportunity for them to pair with other first responders and to dig into areas of the product that they've never been a part of. And that taught them many things at a lower level than they would ever get from just pairing with somebody on something like that. So that's been beneficial. So whether you choose to create a dedicated team and set them off to the side and say, this is all you're ever going to do, or you take the rotational approach, the first responders, as I called it, and having a member volunteers tribute to be a part of that. There is always reactive work when you have products out in the wild, be it internal products, external products, whatever it may be. There's always reactive work that you just have to realize is a part of your life. Software's complex. It's hard. Users use it in ways you never imagined, and just shit happens. So you got to be ready for it, and you got to just plan for it. So that's the approaches that I've taken in the past. Again, in the end, they're both the same. It's just how you choose to staff it. Ooh, I'm reading this definition of done meeting. Yeah, that is a non-traditional definition of the definition of done, which happens in a lot of places. To me, I also would say definition of ready also. So I will explain both of those, at least as far as my view. So, Sinan, when somebody says you can't do something as an agile team, just nod your head, say, okay, and go and prove them wrong. And then you'll have this big smile and this I told you so moment at the end. The number of times I've been told you can't do that this way, and I've been able to prove that I was correct in my belief that we can make it happen, was I really enjoy those moments. In fact, my entire time at Dude Solutions was doing things in ways that I believe were appropriate, such as the first responders, all of those things. There were things that had been done a certain way throughout my career that I said, when I get my chance, I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to do it like this because I think this is a better way. And that was my lab, my experiment to go and try these things. And so often we were right, and it was very exciting. So they don't have to believe in it like you do. That's okay. Let them not believe. That's good. That's good. Yeah, just, smile and wave. Okay. So as I have traditionally defined the definition of done and even the definition of ready, I'll approach both of those subjects separately. Definition of done is a agreement across the team of what done looks like. A story is not done until we can check off all of these things. And that's all it really is. It's a checklist of things that must be done for the work to be considered done. Is it in the right source control? Is the branch handled appropriately? Is it deployed to the right environments? Whatever those things are, it's a common set of things that we as a team have agreed it can't be considered done until all of these things have been checked off. I believe the same thing about the definition of ready, that there should be a checklist of things that have been completed before the team takes that piece of work and puts it in their backlog for them to work on their sprint backlog. If it hasn't met the criteria of things that we say of this is a well-defined story, a well-defined piece of work, bring it into your sprint, it's probably not going to go very well. So I've had real luck with creating a definition of ready, which maybe that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to get stories to ready. We actually have built out separate streams and statuses in Jira before, where the product owners had a separate board where they were matriculating work through until it got to the state that was ready for sprint. There was all this work that they had to do with UX themselves, the teams, all of that to get it to a ready state. It never showed up on the team's backlog at all until it was ready for refinement. And then that last step was ready for sprint. The team didn't see it until it was ready for refinement. That meant the product org had done all of the work that they defined as necessary to get a story ready to put in front of the team. The team then sees it in the backlog, refines it, gets it ready for sprint. Then it can be dropped into a sprint, either the next one, the current one, or some future sprint. So that's how I've handled the definition of done. That might be exactly what they're doing, that they're working through the work to get that done. So it might be refinement, like Scrum Sarge says, or it might be some of the work that's done, which is essentially refinement, just without the team, to get a story to a point to where it's ready to be worked on. So I agree. See, I'm saying your name all the time now, as I can. That's exciting. But there is one of the things that I found is that oftentimes there are stories or work or something that there's things that need to be done before the team's ready. Maybe it's a short list. Maybe it's not much. Maybe it happens really quickly. But there is very effective prep work that can be done to maximize the efficiency of the team. And I do agree with you. It should not spend a lot of time without the team. So I understand. Okay, the Agile. So here's what I've done regarding normalizing definition of done across teams. We have had 2 levels of definition of done. We had, because we used Spotify names, so we had tribe-wide definition of done. any squad that is a member of this tribe, here is the definition of done that we all agree is necessary. It's like a API contract. Like, this is, you're going to use this type of authentication, you're going to use this JSON, you're going to whatever. It's going to be REST or, graph, whatever the things are out there. Right? So we're going to define that. Then there are teams that can add on bits or pieces of that as they see fit. Maybe they're the team that spends the most time in the database or whatever, so they need some extra definition of done for some of the things that they do. It hasn't been wildly different, but we have enabled and empowered teams to make it their own and extend it. And that's really what it was. It was an extension of the tribe-wide definition of done. And the definition of done at the tribe level, we did our best to make it non-oppressive and make it as necessary only type of things, not opinionated or anything like that. It was, hey, we as a group of engineers believe this is what done looks like across the board. Then there are teams that extended that for various reasons, not a lot, but they did. Yeah, I think that's a good way to define it, the must-have versus the nice-to-have. We did do our best to boil it down to the must-haves. And then if there were teams that were really passionate about various things and they were able, again, to extend the definition of done or even the definition of ready to support the way they operated, because we really learned, mostly by me screwing things up, that the must-haves really was a relatively short list. That a lot of the things that I viewed as mandatory or required really were nice to haves. And I had to let go of that and enable the teams to build their own identity with how they wanted to roll, but while also providing that consistency across the organization. And that was something that we actually spent a lot of effort and energy on, was enabling our squads to scale. And so what that meant was enabling another squad to be stood up and become effective as quickly as possible. And in doing that, we had to really get aggressive with what those nice to haves versus the must haves were. And that took some time, but it made a difference once we got there. So, Sinan, I understand it makes your blood boil a little bit that you're like, we shouldn't need to do this. We should be better. And I agree with you. The same thing with hardening sprints, hardening work. Those are things that just drive me freaking crazy. I hate a hardening sprint because in the end, what that means is your definition of done is wrong. But there are times and or places where it is unrealistic to expect a team to just flip a switch and have all of that work be done magically. So as long as you have that as your destination, your end goal of where you aspire to be and where you expect to be in some reasonable amount of time, then it's fine. You won't like doing the things you've got to do that you don't really believe in, but as long as you view it as that bridge to get you to your destination, then I found that to be more palatable. Never liked it, but it was like, okay, I can deal with this for now. I don't like it, but I will deal with this for now. Yes, and trusting in this process and finding those small little wins along the way. That's one thing that I had to get very good at, is really celebrating the small wins. Because it was wearing me down. The fact that we didn't get to the places I thought we should be at as quickly as I like to be. And then really understanding the effort and energy it took to get there. Okay. What else can we put on the table? How else can we help? What can we do? How can we support each other? Let me know. We got a group of people here ready and willing to help. Let's see. Tokens update. While. Oh, okay. Hey, Scrum. Thanks for saying thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being a part of this wonderful group. Good to have you. The Tokens app. Yes. Quick tokens update before you leave. I've been adding a creator dashboard for creators to see everything that's going on, understand the fees that they've earned, that we in turn as the company have to pay them, because they earn 1% of every trade. So that's how it's beneficial to them. They also connect with their community. That's one of the things that I've gotten. Thank you. That is one of the things that I'm going to go in and rework our marketing on. We're going to really do a better job. Actually, I've spent a lot of time talking with NBA, folks at the NBA, and the builders of CryptoKitties. They are unifying to build NBA's Top Shot, which is basically the same thing that Tokens is, but targeted at the NBA. And they have done, as I would imagine, a way better job of messaging the value than I have. Last I checked, I am not a marketing expert, and that has proven true. So I've spent a lot of time talking. They're super helpful, very kind. We may end up transitioning to their platform on the back end, and really truly have blockchain on the back end, because they are focused at building it on the blockchain, but they are aware that of their 1.6 billion fans that they have, that a very small percentage, A, care that it's on blockchain, and B, are willing to deal with the user experience challenges that blockchain creates right now. So they are building a backend to solve all those problems. And that is going to be fantastic, and we'll likely migrate to that in the coming year or so to support that. So that will be cool. It'll be exciting to do that. It'll also be a big challenge to rewrite the backend. But that's life. That's software. That happens. Okay. Anything else, my friends? While you're waiting, hit that subscribe button, hit the follow button. If you haven't hit the follow button, please hit the follow button. As you see, we're 80% of the way there, trying to get to 200 in 17 days. That 200 unlocks us some more custom emotes. So custom emotes, for example, we have Walter, we have the Texas flag, and we have the snail. Those are the three that we have earned by having 100 followers. When we get to 200 followers, we get more custom emotes, and then we can figure out what we want those to be. We'll figure that out together. We'll do a little poll or something and figure out what the right thing is. I've got some ideas, but I'm not sure what you guys would like. Yes, architecture is emergent for sure. Okay. Well, my friends, I guess we'll shut it down. In the meantime, thanks for hanging out. If you are struggling with the work at home world, talk to folks, get some support, do all of those things. There are lots of people ready, willing, and able to help. So please do so. Take a day. As I mentioned, I am going to tweak the creator dashboard for tokens right after this. Then I'm going to just have some Josh time and play some video games and not work. So VA Agile, my fellow workaholic, turn it off. Let it go. It'll be there when you get back. Don't worry. It will miss you, but let it go. I'm going to try my best to do that today. Thanks for all the subscribers. Thanks for following. Thanks for everything you do. Thanks for listening to the podcast, even though you don't have your drives or your commutes. And we will... Oh, and go download the Tokens app and let me know what you think. Whoa, beach time. That's crazy talk. Yeah, socially distanced beach time, though. Right, everyone? Right. Okay. All right, VA Agile, I can't wait to hear about the time you took off. I'm going to tell you how it went today. I'm going to do my darndest to actually make it happen. Tokens will forever fight me in my brain. Again, Reddit's doing a thing, NBA's doing a thing, MLB has been doing a thing, UFC, all these other players are out there are doing the same thing we're doing. So I feel this like angst of not getting beat, but I've got to turn it off or else it won't happen. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, stay safe, and thanks for tuning in. See you, everyone.